Hello everyone, this is Brandon Kavalakis, this is Grim Dawn, and this is going to be a very interesting build today. These builds, of course, will not be every single day. Once I get all of my builds out, I'm going to do the Stalker Let's Play on Elite, while also working on the on more builds to make. I think I won't focus on modded gameplay for now, for at least a little while. I really do want to make more builds for you guys, and it might be like one video a week or so as I make new builds. I have many ideas, but I need time to collect the gear and I need time to do a lot of things, so it of course won't be uploaded on the weekend. It'll of course not be uploaded on like Saturday and Sunday, probably. And anyway, without further ado, we're going to get into the skills, then the gear of this build, and this is the Panetti's Replicating Missile build. It's completely ultimate viable, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So without further ado, let's get into the skills. Now, I want to say one thing. Arcanist, you have to pick first, of course. This is your main nuking skill, this is your main skill, this is all you're pretty much going to use. But other than that, basically what you have to do is just get all 50 points while maxing out Panetti's Missile, and Distortion, Supercharged, and Proliferation. And the reason being is because they all will help the damage go up. So, yeah, that's basically it. I put 3 points into here. I put 1 point into Overload, and 1 point into Elemental Balance. Reason being is because I didn't have any points left over after locating all of my points everywhere. And you definitely want to max out Inner Focus for offensive ability, and that'll help out a lot with your damage and your chance to hit and crit and everything. Like, let me show you. I only have a 5% chance to hit the Warden, almost 6%, but when I put Blood of Drieg on, it's a 100% chance and pretty much almost doubles in chance to crit, which is very nice. Chance to be crit is pretty annoying. I couldn't get the defensive ability up any higher than I had it, and I've tested out many different gear combinations. But all in all, it's a great build, and it's totally ultimate viable and can kill Nemesis not that fast at all, really. It's a slow but steady build. That's how I would describe it. Slow but steady. It's very beginner friendly, and it's very, very easy to set up. You don't even need that much gear. Just the gear would help you, but you don't really need it. You can get good elemental gear and be just fine. You want to max out Myvan's Spear of Protection to get that total damage modified by whatever percent down a little bit. Because even minus 1% damage reduction, and like if it was minus 8% versus minus 7%, you would notice a pretty big difference, even if it's just 1%. So I maxed it out and got it as high as I could. I put 1 point into Conversion for that stun duration reduction, reduced freeze duration, reduced petrify duration, 13% slow resistance. Plus you absorb some energy from enemy spells, which I don't know if that's too useful, but I just, you know, whatever, put 1 point into it. This is going to be pretty useful, reducing their fire resistance. This is going to be your final skill again, because it's as useful as it is. I really didn't take it until, like, I really thought I needed to, which was last. And that's basically it. You're going to dump whatever points you have left after you do everything else, so anyway, moving on. I put 3 points into here, and that's all I put into here. Very useful, gets your energy regen up, your all damage up, lasts for 6 seconds, has a 4.2 second skill recharge, which means that it's always up, as long as your health drops below 70%, which, I just want to point out one thing, sometimes you want to let your health drop below 70%, reason being is just to have it up. Especially on like an Aether Ray build like I did the other day, that's just basically it. You have to like force yourself to take some damage in order to do more damage and get your energy regen up. I took 1 into here. We are already, I'll show you, I'm capped out on casting speed again, for the love of God, someone help me. Anyway, I focused on getting maximum cast speed because that's just to maximize the damage that we deal, and 1 into here for some energy leech and doing some extra Aether Chaos damage, which Chaos doesn't matter, Aether does a little bit. And we of course maxed out Reckless Power for Fire, Aether, Burn. Burn doesn't matter too much, but the casting speed boost does help, and so does the Fire and Aether damage since this is an elemental damage skill, and since this is elemental damage, it splits it between the 3 elements as you can see, and we do a lot of fire damage and Aether damage for the most part. Anyway, moving on to Occultist, we put 1 into Curse of Frailty and maxed out Vulnerability. Well, I put 1 point less than max into that. Actually, never mind, sorry. So we put 1 point less than max into it, and got it into 12 out of 10 blue. We got 1 into Summon Familiar, 9 into Mend Flesh, and put Storm Spirit as high as I could, which was 12, and maxed it. Same thing with Blood of Dreeg, and maxed it. Reason why we took Storm Spirit is you're gonna see me, I'm able to tank, I was gonna say someone else, I'm able to tank the Warden pretty well with this build. Pretty darn well. I mean, yes, it has its ups and downs, but, you know, all builds have their ups and downs. So, anyway, Devotion Tree, pretty standard. Tried to get my damage up a bit, but also tried to be very defensive with this build. And yeah, I took Obelisk of Menhir. You guys love it, you know that. That defensive ability is just too useful. Same thing with here, you're getting a total of 10% boost from Solemn Watcher and Obelisk of Menhir's point over here, which thank God that's at the beginning and not at the end. But yeah, that's why I chose it. It just gives you a lot of armor, and as you can see our armor rating is 995, it's not that high. So getting the Obelisk of Menhir is pretty useful, especially for defensive ability, which we're still lacking. Which is kind of bad, but whatever, it is what it is. Ah, almost forgot, let's go over gear next. I actually was about to get into gameplay and I forgot to show you the gear, gosh darn it, at least I remembered, right? Panetti's Replicating Wand. Let me tell you one thing about this wand. This is the best roll that you'll ever see on this wand, hands down. I got lucky as hell. I asked a friend, like, I don't know where you're supposed to see, like, what the minimum to maximum rolls are on an item, but someone, like, a friend told me that he would kill me for that wand, because he said that's, like, the best roll that he's ever seen. He said this is basically a god roll on it for elemental damage, and I kind of agreed with him. I've seen plenty of Panetti's Replicating Wands drop, and they've all dropped in, like, the 100s, 120s, 130s, but not even close to 150. Like, this is 1% off, I guess, from being max. I'm thinking it's 150 is max, but anyway. Panetti's Replicating Wand. Replication, 100% chance at 40% health, minus 30 seconds to all currently active skill cooldowns, which we don't have too much, but if we have to use Mirror of Arioctus and then we get bashed down below the health threshold for the replication skill, this will basically make us have it again. So that 21-second skill recharge instantly goes down to 0, and we can use it a second time, which is very good for defensive ability, you know. Gets that defense up a bit. Of course you're going to want it for the Panetti's Replicating Missile skill up. And I put, what is that? Imbued Silver. Duh, I can't read apparently. Okay, you put an Imbued Silver on there, and I put an Aether Health offensive ability, damage to Ethereals, damage to Aether Corruptions, Augment. Can't remember what the heck it's called. Give me a second to look at it here. Yeah, I have a bad memory, okay? Just don't blame me for it. This one, Outcast Wrath. That's what you want on here, on both your weapon and your offhand. For rings, we put 2 Mark of Illusions on the rings for defensive ability and elemental damage, of course, because elemental damage is very useful, and so is the defensive ability, and the energy regen really helps too. Invoker's Shocking Touch and Invoker's Burning Hand, because we're doing the full Invoker set. You're going to need the full Invoker set, including the amulet. Clairvoyance Hat. Reason why I chose the Clairvoyance Hat and Mantle, I'll go over that right now. Clairvoyance Hat is because of the 1 to all skills, plus it gives skill cooldown reduction, gives you health and energy, and it also gives you energy regen percent, Aether damage percent, all damage percent. So it's just so good. It really just helps way too much not to have it on. Same thing with this. It gives Aether and all damage, which we do Aether and all damage really helps with, like, everything, of course, because all damage. And then it gives huge offensive ability boosts, like God. And then health is just ridiculous. My friend said he wants to kill me for all of my gear, really, because all of my gear has God rolls on it. Like, I swear, I got so lucky with the rolls on all of my gear, it's crazy. Anyway, Invoker's Burning Hand with Mark of Illusions, and we put Survivor's Ingenuity on everything for all damage boost and defensive and offensive ability boosts. And I put an Arcane Lens on here, which is very useful, I like it a lot. And that's basically it. I put on here something different, a Wrathstone. Reason being is it gives us Aether Aura, giving us a ton of Aether damage, a total of a 60% boost, and again, that helps with damage, so it's very useful. I probably could have put something else on here, probably more defensive-wise, but I found it to be the most useful thing here. I put a Silk Swatch on the Clairvoyance Mantle and the Wraithborn Leg Wraps. I have the Poison and Acid Resistance augment on there. That would be Venom Guard Powder. And I put a Pierce Resistance on here. That would be the Blade Reward Powder. And, let's see. Okay, so I put an Unholy Inscription into here for offensive ability, vitality, and bleeding resistance, which, of course, are pretty good right now. Only resistance that I'm lacking in, truly, is Pierce resistance. Everything else is pretty damn good, as usual. I'm always focusing on resistances first, before damage, because without resistances you will die very, very quickly. I was, thinking, what foot pads should I wear? And then it hit me. Why don't I choose, foot pads of the Grey Magi? So, I did that for defensive ability, movement speed percent, elemental and Aether resistance percent, and just everything. It's very useful. You get hit for 4 seconds, you move 50% faster. It's good for repositioning yourself or running away from the Iron Maiden or something like that. Anyway, I could have chosen Golemborn Greaves or the Wraith Walkers, honestly, but I just didn't like it enough. I mean, yes, swap out Golemborn Greaves when you're facing Fabius, so you can get that, Pierce resistance up to max, basically. And that's basically it. Anyway, Mark of Divinity, I put an Arcane Spark on there for energy regen, offensive ability, energy leech. And the Mark of Divinity, as you know, is stupidly useful for defensive-wise purposes. So that's why I chose it. And it has a very good roll, of course. All my gear is just really good rolled. Really high elemental resistance. This is like the highest that I've ever seen on a Mark of Divinity before. Soulbinder Chains. Now this belt, I could have swapped it out with Tinker's Ingenuity, honestly. But then I thought to myself, well, my resistances are still good, but I'm still lacking an offensive ability. This will help with that. This will just help with everything. This is just too useful, and it's crit damage, Aether damage, offensive ability, vitality, and Aether resistance. I put an Anti-Venom Salve on there, and I put an augment of poison resistance on there. If I didn't go over this, it has Blade Ward Powder on the boots. Anyway, Escondra's Balance, fire and cold damage, which we both do, 15% chance of 302 elemental damage, stupidly good. Spirit, and then casting speed, skill energy cost, and 1 to all skills and arcanas with an absolute 0 and disintegration completion bonus, which isn't that useful, but this is like a god tier roll on it in every other way, so yeah, good enough. Wraithborn Leg Rats, we do Aether damage. It gives us... Okay, let me just say, if someone's gonna get jealous about the roll that I rolled on everything, please tell me in the comment section down below. This is a god-rolled Wraithborn Leg Rats with offensive ability of 7%. That is freaking huge! And the health, too, is big as hell. So, yeah, it gives us 2 to Reckless Power, which we use, gives us huge bleeding resistance and vitality resistance, and god, it's just so good with the Silk Swatch on it, and Poison and Acid and Vitality Resistance Augment, which would be Magdragon's Touch. There you go. Same thing with this, Magdragon's Touch. Escandra's Vestments, God Roll, Health, God Roll, Aether and Elemental damage, and some defensive ability. Cunning requirements for melee weapons, which who cares. Chaos Resistance, 2 to Arcane Will, 2 to Maven Spear of Protection, and yeah, that's basically it. I'm thinking of making an Escandra's, excuse me. I'm thinking of making an Escandra's Markovian build, or not Markovian, an Escandra's Soldier Arcanist build, whatever that one is, Battle Mage, I think. That's probably going to be one of my builds sometime. But tomorrow's going to be the Venom Guard build, and then Kalidor's Tempest, and then finally my Warlord's Mark build, and that'll finish up all the builds. Without further ado, let's just get into gameplay. I put a Sanctified Bone on here, my Dragon's Touch, and okay, let's just go. Hey, a Dread Skull. I didn't have to kill anything for it. Keep up your Blood of Dreeg at all times. This is a very good build. Keep up your Alexa's Flash Freeze, and the reason why I say this is slow but steady is because, well, as you can see, it's going to take us a while to kill hero monsters, sadly, but it is what it is. As you can see, put up your, rotation is like this. Put up your Curse of Frailty, then use Alexa's Flash Freeze to nuke the resistances further, keep up your Blood of Dreeg, and that's basically it. Just spam Panetti's Missile, while your Raven keeps you alive, of course. How did I not take damage from the Aether Fire Acid thing on the ground there? All that liquid, I don't know. But it all worked in the end, right guys? Anyway. See that? The Raven really helps us tank and heal. It's just very, very useful to have. I find it useful anyway. The game volume isn't that loud, I know, but it renders a lot louder for whatever reason, I don't know. I don't even know what he dropped there. I think he dropped an Unholy Inscription, actually, but I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. Let's go. Very, very versatile build. I'm enjoying it anyway. As you can see, Escandra's balance is severely helpful for enemies that get close as well, which is nice. It does, however, have a 25-second skill recharge, sadly, but it is what it is. Keep up Blood of Dreeg, Brandon. You need that offensive ability up, definitely. Thank God for Alexa's Flash Freeze to really crowd control things when they get too close. And thank God for the Raven for the heals. Severely useful. It wrecks smaller enemies very fast, though, I have to admit, and it definitely kills groups of enemies, especially clustered up enemies, very, very fast. Bosses and hero monsters are definitely a lot slower for this build, but it is what it is. And it's a very fun build to play, very beginner-friendly, like I said earlier, and I very much enjoyed making this build and testing it, and it took like about 20 to 30 iterations of different gear changes, devotion setups. So many tonics of clarity and Aether crystals were used, like, it's crazy. Try, of course, not to get hit as much as I'm getting hit like an idiot here. I mean, you're gonna see me face tank the frickin' Warden in just a second here, but seriously, try not to be as stupid as I'm being right now. I love how I went into the Discord channel yesterday and everyone just didn't recognize me until I said something, until I started linking my videos, and then they're just like, oh, that's you? And I'm just like, yes, that's me. Let's go! Warden! You son of a bitch! Get over here! I will face tank your ass! Crit, crit, crit! Iskandra, go! Healing, go! Cursing, go! Fuck you! No, not that cursing. As you can see, it still wrecks him pretty fast, guys. Taking some damage, doesn't matter, you should go down in just a second here. Very nice. Pop my Blood of Dread. Should be up in just a few more seconds. Okay, he's up. Curse him. F you too! Ow! He stunned me! See this? Raven really helps you face tank. Don't do this for, like, really even harder hitters like the Iron Maiden and Xantarin, but in other ways, yeah, it just really is good. I'll pop my, Mirror of Arioctus now. And dead. Very nice, guys. Very nice kill. As you can see, face tanked him. Even after my Raven died. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this viable, totally ultimate viable build, Panetti's Missile, yeah, I bet you never expected this one to be viable. But I love making people cry, like seriously, it's so funny to watch people be like, that Panetti's Missile is so not viable, and I'm just like, bruh, I'm gonna make it viable. You can just go kiss my ass and kiss my feet, because I'm making this build viable. Someone, like, I hear so many people bitching about this build, like, it's not viable, it's not viable, it's not viable, and I'm just like, I'm gonna make it viable, you hear me? I'm making this frickin' build viable. I don't care if it takes me forever, I will turn it into a viable powerhouse build. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. I'll see you guys later. Friend's channel in the description down below, Devotion Tree in the description down below. I'll see you guys then. Have a great day, have a great night, and I'll see you guys later. This is Brandon signing out, and I'll see you in the next build video. Bye guys!